What is title? There are 4 aspects to title. They're all related, but they also all play different parts throughout the buying and selling process. So we have our title company. This is the same company that provides escrow services like I mentioned before, like CW Title, First American Title, Chicago Title, etc. The title company's primary function is to conduct a thorough investigation of the property's title to ensure that no one else has any legal right or interest in the property by someone other than the owner, ensuring that the property is free from any legal defects that could affect the ownership rights of the new owner. So an example of this would be, let's say we have a married couple who bought a property while they were together, but now they're separated and one of the couple lives out of the country. So title makes sure that that person is aware of and on board with the sale and signs documents agreeing to sell the property. So another example would be if a seller recently remodeled the house but never paid their contractor, that contractor could put a lien against the property. If the property sells and closes, the buyer, who is now the new owner of the property, will be responsible for paying off the mechanic's lien. So a thorough investigation of title would prevent situations like this from happening. Okay, so now we have title insurance. Once the title search is completed and maybe issues are found and become resolved, the title company issues a title insurance policy to the buyer and the buyer's lender. So title insurance protects against any future claims or disputes related to the property's title. So for example, the married but separated couple from my previous example, if the individual who is living abroad wasn't made aware of the sale and then they come back to their home in the US only to find that it has sold and now you're living in it, title insurance would cover that whole mess of a situation. Also, the benefit of title insurance is that it's a one-time paid cost at closing. Once it's paid for, you won't have to worry about it again. So now we have the title report, which is a comprehensive document that provides detailed information about the ownership history and legal status of a property's title. A buyer will have access to the title report before or shortly after submitting their offer. So the title report includes information on the property's ownership history and, if applicable, any liens, easement, deeds, restrictions, or other claims. It could reveal any outstanding debts such as unpaid taxes, additional mortgages, or other liens. It could also highlight any legal issues or disputes related to the property's title, such as boundary line disputes with neighbors, legal challenges to ownership, or some sort of pending litigation. And it could also include documents pertaining to the community's CC&Rs, or covenants, conditions, and restrictions. So then that leaves us with the title contingency, which is the final one. So the title contingency is where the buyer could make their offer contingent on reviewing the title report to ensure they're able to do exactly what they want to do with the property before they purchase it. The best example of this is if a buyer intended to build an additional story onto the house to gain a view of the Puget Sound, but after reviewing the title, they discover that the property has a height restriction and it can't be built higher than it already is. Well, then that changes the buyer's intended use for the property, so the buyer could be able to walk away from the contract and keep their earnest money. So that wraps up the 4 ways you'll hear about title during the buying and selling process. Again, they're the title company, title insurance, title report, and the title contingency.